I want to talk to you about a $2 million smart play when it comes to business loans for bad credit, instant approval. So here's a review I want you to pay attention to. Number 7, we have TakeCore Financial. Our score, 8.1 over 10. So when you think about TakeCore Financial, I want you to think about a very generous lender. We're speaking about maximum loan amount, $2 million. And TakeCore is kind of cool for equipment loans. So here you have a term that you have a repayment window from 12 to 84 months. This is really good. So you're speaking about 1 year to 7 years. Fantastic. Maximum loan amount, $2 million. And the APR is kind of decent too, though. You're speaking about an APR that starts at around 3.49% to 3.50%. So we love that a lot. And what we love about TakeCore Financial is that if you have a credit score minimum of 550, they'll take care of you, not a problem at all. Now, TakeCore wants you to be in business for at least 2 years. And in terms of time to funding, you're speaking about 4 to 24 hours, which means what? It means, boss, if you apply today, let's say it's about 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., you apply today, 9 a.m. Eastern, you have the opportunity to be funded around noon, or you can be approved, rather. You can be approved around noon and be funded in the afternoon, Eastern time. So this is really, really cool. Fantastic. Boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here to have this quick convo with you about business loans for bad credit, instant approval. We're speaking about a smart draw, a power play of $2 million maximum. Here are the pros and cons of TakeCore Financial. Pros. TakeCore is ideal for startups. We love that a lot. So if you're a new business, new LLC, it doesn't matter, single member, multi-member LLC, not a problem. If you're an S Corp, a C Corp, TakeCore Financial will work with you. And there are no revenue restrictions. Okay, so very ideal for startups, great for established businesses, middle-sized, small business, large businesses, not a problem. There are no revenue restrictions. What about the cons here? In some cases, TakeCore Financial might actually have a stricter, I would say, loan application process. Like they might ask for a personal guarantee in some cases, because see, the thing is that depending on the regulation, the banking regulations in your state, because see, banking is regulated at a state level. So every state has its own banking regulations. So TakeCore might have I would say, a stricter, more stringent requirements based on your state. So they might ask for a PG, but it does happen like a 15% in our research, 15% of the time. Okay. And the thing here is that with TakeCore, they do have a document fee. So you might have to pay between 2% and 5% of the loan amount. Number 6, we have OnDeck. Our score, 8.5 over 10. So when you think about OnDeck, I want you to think about a direct lender. We love the fact that it's really great for short-term loans. Again, we're speaking here about business loans for bad credit, instant approval. And so for OnDeck, you can be approved up to like the term length here, up to 24 months. So you don't have like 5 years or 6 years or 7 years as you have with TakeCore. With OnDeck, you have two years maximum. And the maximum loan amount here, we're speaking about $250,000. So $250,000. The interest rate is about like the maximum you can actually be charged. It's 35%. And so one thing I want to say here is that OnDeck wants you to have a minimum credit score that goes from 525 all the way to 625. So the credit score changes based on your state. So it's basically based on your geography. And they want you to be in business, minimum time in business, 12 months. Okay. Now the time to funding when it comes to OnDeck, same day, not a problem at all. Okay. This is really important to remember. So boss, let me quickly remind you about today's topic. We're having a conversation about business loans for bad credit, instant approval, massive approval here. And so let me quickly give you the pros and cons of OnDeck. So when you think about OnDeck, I want you to think about same day funding. Same procedure here. If you apply in the morning, you might actually get funded, not just be approved, but get funded in the afternoon. So this is really fantastic. And so with OnDeck, you have prepayment and loyalty benefits. So if you've been actually borrowing and repaying loans over several years with OnDeck, they start giving you some kind of loyalty, APR discount. So you'll be like, it can go from 0.5% all the way to 1.5%. So we've seen cases where OnDeck applied a loyalty discount of 1.5% to one of our business clients. What about the cons here? This OnDeck loan is not available in Nevada, North Dakota, or South Dakota. As I said before, banking is regulated at the state level. So if your state has some kind of regulations that are too tough for OnDeck to abide by, they're not going to lend in your state. So this is the case here with Nevada, North Dakota, and South Dakota. So if you are in those states, I apologize. You have to go to another lender, okay? And also, the one thing I want to say here is that for OnDeck, you do need to have $100,000 in annual gross revenue to qualify, okay? Very important here. Number 5, we have Quick Bridge. Our score, 8.8 over 10. One thing I want to say about Quick Bridge is that it's great for if you want to have the cash real quick, that's fine. And what we love about Quick Bridge, they don't have restrictions for the kind of industry you're in. No, they take all kinds of industries. Obviously, you have to remove all the quote unquote controversial industries. So we're speaking about adults or marijuana, all that kind of stuff. But overall, they do take mostly all businesses. Okay, and term length here for Quick Bridge up to 18 months. So you can see that the repayment window is becoming lower and lower and lower. They're not giving you 7 years. They're not giving you 5 years. They're giving you here 1.5 years. And the maximum loan amount here, $400,000. And with Quick Bridge, the interest rate is actually expressed as a factor rate. So the factor rate is about 1.11%. So we're speaking about 1.11 and not percent. The factor rate is 1.11, and the minimum credit score you should have goes from 550 to 600. Okay, the minimum time in business that Quick Bridge wants you to have before considering you, 6 months, and the time to funding, it may be as soon as 24 hours, not a problem at all. So Quick Bridge is really fast. Also, now in some cases Quick Bridge will want you to call them, so you might have to call the lender before actually doing anything. Okay, so what are the pros and cons of this lender here? The pros: there are no hidden fees. We love that a lot. You have funding options for all kinds of lenders, including women and minority-owned businesses. So this is kind of cool. For us, this is not really a biggie because normally, if they want to make money, it doesn't matter what kind of conditions the business owner is in. But hey, listen, we just felt like it's noteworthy to say here. So what about the cons here? If you want to qualify for a Quick Bridge, you got to have at least $250,000 in annual gross sales. We're speaking about gross sales, so gross revenue of $250,000. And in terms of Quick Bridge, in terms of transparency, Quick Bridge is not really transparent in terms of telling you how much they're charging. Okay, so they might try to really razzle dazzle you and trying to confuse the hell out of you. So you need to call them to have a clear idea about how much they're charging you. So yeah, it is what it is. Number 4, we have BlueVine. Our score, 9 over 10. So if you're looking for, let's say, a business line of credit, bad credit, instant approval, you will think about BlueVine. BlueVine is a direct lender. And so term length here, we're speaking about 6 months to 1 year. Again, the repayment window is really shrinking here. So 12 months, that's 1 year maximum. And the maximum loan amount here, we're speaking about $250,000. And so in terms of the interest rate is kind of decent. It starts at around 6%. And BlueVine has a methodical approach that we love a lot. Like, they take care of you, they'll ask you questions, and if you go through all the system, all the process, you provide all the information, they'll fund you, not a problem. The minimum credit score goes from 545 to 625. That's the minimum, and that minimum actually oscillates based on the state you're applying from, and this is important to really know. And one thing I want to say here is that BlueVine wants you to be in business for at least 2 years. So you got to be in business for 2 years. Now, BlueVine is not really as fast as some of the players here to fund you. So in terms of business funding, or term funding rather, you are looking at 1 to 3 business days. Okay, but it is what it is. But BlueVine will take care of you. Like, if they approve you, they actually will take care of you. Not a problem at all. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about business loans for bad credit, instant approval. We're speaking about a power play of $2 million here, okay? And maximum $2 million. So what are the pros and cons of BlueVine? Pros: you only pay for what you use, right? Because we have a business line of credit. So you don't have a regular business loan here, and you have very fast funding times. We're speaking about 1 to 3 days. This is really good. What about the cons here? Well, BlueVine, as of the date of this show, is not available in Nevada, North Dakota, or South Dakota. So those 3 states have, BlueVine doesn't have banking, like a banking license in those 3 states, so they can't really lend you if you live in those states. And BlueVine does require $10,000 in monthly revenue to qualify. So if you want to qualify, you need to actually have at least $10,000 in monthly revenue. This is important. Number 3, we have Fora Financial. Our score, 9.3 over 10. So when you think about Fora Financial, I want you to think about a lender that is great for working capital loans, okay? And term length here, again, very, very reduced. We're speaking about up to 15 months. And maximum amount, $1.5 million. So that's what we love about Fora Financial. So you have a 1.5 potential power play here, $1.5 million. And the estimated factor rate, so factor rate go from 1.10 to 1.40. So it is, so it's not like the regular interest rate, but again, one thing I can say here is that it is expensive. Yes, the APR is kind of expensive, but the cool thing is that the minimum credit score, check this out, it's 500. So Fora is not going to complicate things for you. They will approve you, not a problem at all. With the 500 minimum FICO score, this is kind of cool. The term length, I've said this before, up to 15 months. So minimum time in business, 6 months. Really cool. And time to funding, you were speaking about 72 hours. So this is really, really fantastic. Okay. Now, what are the pros and cons of Fora Financial? Pros, you have fast funding times and you have early payoff discounts. So this is kind of cool. What about the cons here? Fora does require $12,000 a month in gross sales to qualify. And you can't have an open or dismissed bankruptcy within the past year. So if you're currently in a bankruptcy proceeding, you can't really qualify for a financial loan. It is what it is. And one thing I want to say here is that, we love the fact that Fora Financial is really, really generous. Think about it. 1.5 million maximum power play here. This is just fantastic. Okay. And the cool thing is that Fora does not have any restrictions on how to spend the funds or like they have no restrictions at all. We love that a lot. And furthermore, Fora does not require collateral and disperses funds as quickly as 72 hours after approval, and you can receive a free, no obligation quote to see if it's a great fit for your business. So this is kind of cool. Okay, so Fora Financial, again, once again, 9.3 over 10. One thing I want to say also is that just make sure that you have a business bank account though, because Fora actually demands to have a business bank account, and in some cases they might ask you to have bank statements for the last 3 months. Number 2, we have Credibly. Our score, 9.6 over 10. So when you think about Credibly, I want you to think about a loan amount that goes all the way to $400,000. And Credibly is like in terms of term length, you are looking at 3 to 15 months here. And so the estimated factor rate, you're looking at 1.11. That's actually the average here. And what I want to say here is the minimum credit score, 500. So you can see that with Credibly, you can go as low as possible in the credit score spectrum. We love that a lot. And so the minimum time in business, 6 months. So this is kind of cool. If you're barely in business, you are a single member LLC, you're a multi-member LLC, you're an S corporation, C corporation, doesn't really matter if you're a new business. You are a new business, established business, any business in between, large, small, mid-size, they will take care of you. Not a problem at all. We love that a lot. So with Credibly, you have same day. So I want to quickly go through the pros and cons here. Pros, you have same day funding potentially. This is kind of cool. And you have low credit score requirements. And one thing we love about the Credibly also is that they don't ask you a lot of questions. They don't ask a lot of questions. They'll fund you, not a problem at all. They have same day funding. And again, what we love about same day funding, we're speaking about a maximum of 24 hours, which means that basically, depending upon the time you apply, the time will start, the clock will start ticking from the time you apply. You submit your information. Okay, this is kind of cool. What about the cons with Credibly? Well, Credibly does require $15,000 in average monthly revenue to qualify. And Credibly requires daily or weekly payments. So they're not going to ask you to to pay every month, you might have to pay every day, or so every month, and that every week rather, and that sometimes this could be disruptive to your cash flow to actually plan for this. But hey, listen, this is the I would say, if they do you a favor by giving you a loan real fast, you got to also think about pitching in, having some skin in the game. So it is what it is. And so if you have a high monthly revenue as well as bad credit, Credibly's working capital loan might be worth exploring because it offers loans up to $400,000 to address various business needs. In addition, Credibly offers a business line of credit and merchant cash advance. So this is kind of cool. Number 1, we have Funbox. Our score 9.8 over 10. So when you think about Funbox, I want you to think about a lender that's really great for quick approvals. So with Funbox, the maximum loan amount here is $150,000, okay? And the interest rate depends upon the repayment window. So you have a 4.66% for 12-week term and 8.99% for a 24-week term. So it really depends on the repayment window. And the minimum credit score here, you are looking at 575 all the way to 600. That's the minimum credit score. And the minimum time in business, 6 months. So you got to really think about that. And one thing I want to say here is that in terms of funding, you have next business day. So they don't fund you the same day, even though it really depends, but they don't fund you the same day. They'll fund you within 24 hours. But hey, listen, it's still, I'll take it anyway. It's still good. It's still a great deal. And what I want to say, let me quickly give you the pros and cons of Funbox. The pros here, you can receive a decision within minutes. Remember that you can always pre-qualify here. Okay, they give you a soft pull process, so you can receive a decision within minutes. And there is no application, origination, or early repayment fees. So we love that a lot. This is just fantastic. So pros, fantastic. What about the cons here? Well, in terms of the repayment window, you can see that we are talking about 12 to 24 weeks. So we're not speaking here about 1 year, not even 1 year. So you're speaking about what? 12 weeks, that's 3 months. 24 weeks, that's basically 6 months. So the repayment window is really short. Okay, so it is what it is. So and so you also have short terms with weekly payments required. And Funbox requires to have $100,000 annual revenue to qualify. So overall, Funbox offers quick loans for bad credit. If you are approved, funds from a business line of credit could be deposited into your business bank account as soon as the next business day. Keep in mind, though, that the maximum repayment term is only 24 weeks, which might not be long enough depending on your business's current financial status. So it is something you need to think about. Now, the thing is that for some entrepreneurs, this is not really a big problem because, listen, they need a loan and they probably have a business opportunity to seize, and they know they will be getting paid anyway to be able to reimburse the loan that they get from a Funbox. So it is what it is, but just be aware. It's a 24 weeks. It's not 24 months. Let me give you the overview here. So when we talk about business loans for bad credit instant approval, especially for a power play of $2 million, it's important to understand that you have different types of bad credit business loans. You don't have only one type. So when we talk about business loans for bad credit instant approval, you have several types of loans. You have term loans, you have secure loans, you have lines of credit, you have working capital loans, you have equipment financing arrangements, you have invoice factoring arrangements, you have merchant cash advances. So it's really a constellation of loans, not just one type of loan. Okay, so just be aware of that. So if you are looking for, I would say, a short-term funding, or you are looking for short-term funding for bad credit instant approval, just be aware that you might have to actually explore all types of loans. And again, when we talk about bad credit score here, we're speaking about anything that is below 670. Now it really depends if you have poor credit or bad credit. Some people will say poor credit is somewhere around 579, but bad credit anything below 600 or 630, 640. Again, the scales depend, but one thing for sure is that you always have the ability to contact the lender before doing anything, because the lender will tell you what they consider in terms of their FICO score. Okay, so let me give you a few pro tips before we close to this conversation. So if you want to get a business loan with bad credit, make sure that you always go online. If you go to a credit union or a bank, it will be really complicated. If they approve you, they might give you a tiny ass amount, or even give you a high APR. But you are better off by going to alternative lenders and online lenders. So you can see in today's conversation, you have a lot of players who are alternative lenders. For example, TakeCore is an alternative lender. QuickBridge is another one. Fora Financial is another one. Credibly is another one. Now, OnDeck, BlueVine, and Funbox, they are online lenders. In other words, they are a fintech. There are fintechs that really can help you in terms of getting the loan that you need. So it's really important. And so, but the thing is, the bottom line here is that you need to be in a situation where you are learning to first checking your credit score to make sure where you are, to know where you are at, and improving your credit score, because you want to get better rates, right? So trying to be in a situation where you're paying your bills on time, reducing debts, renegotiating interest rates, monitor your credit, watch your business credit also, and get a business credit card to sort of beef up your business credit score and your personal credit score for that matter. Okay, you want to calculate how much you could borrow. Don't rush, boss. Do not rush. I understand there is an emergency. You want to know how much you want to borrow ASAP, but calculate how much you can borrow, and you want to prepare also your application documents really fastly. So overall, what I want to say here is that please take your time. Take your time before getting the loan that you need and deserve. I want to show you our loan evaluation approach. So we have an approach when it comes to evaluating, categorizing, and as listing business loans for bad credit instant approval. So please check this out right now. I want to quickly let me just recap here. So number one, we have Funbox, our score 9.8 over 10. Number two, we have Credibly, 9.6 over 10. Number three, we have Fora Financial, 9.3 over 10. Number four, we have BlueVine, 9 over 10. Number five, we have QuickBridge, 8.8 over 10. Number six, we have OnDeck, 8.5 over 10. Number seven, we have TakeCore Financial, 8.1 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.